Hi Cima candidates, enterprise operations, Cima Revision for 2014 November exams, episode 2. My name is Rashan Usman. So in last episode we could discuss how we can deal with section C questions. Section C is the challenging part, the part which will decide whether you are going to succeed in the exam or not. So I would like to go through another question to discuss. Before that, this is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not the attainment. Full efforts is full victory. So if you can put your full effort, that means it's your full victory. So section C, the challenging part, which will decide whether you are going to succeed in that exam or not. Focus on that. So I want to take you to another area in operations management, and I want to take you through a past paper question. So sustainability in operations management, small area, but a number of times there were questions in past papers. Sustainability in operational management. Sustainability is the ability to meet the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainability operational management means conducting operation in a way to preserve natural resources. It's a practice of doing business in a way that balances economic, environmental and social needs. So the sustainability is where, if you hear this word, that is where we do conduct operations in a way to preserve resources so that it will be available for future generations as well. Benefits of sustainability. First one is efficiency. Lower waste, water consumption and energy usage will lead to lower costs, leading to improvement in financial performance. For example, once the Walmart started to use renewable energy, by that they could reduce their cost. So efficiency, sustainability will lead to lower cost. Internal stakeholder support, better practice and responsibility will lead to improved employee morale, motivation and loyalty. So if it is a good organization which is caring the environment, caring about future generation, even internal stakeholder support such as employee support can be obtained. For example, once Citigroup is engaging in sustainability, so their employees are giving their fullest support. They are more loyal to the organization because of their company sustainability programs. External stakeholder support, reduction of environmental pollution will strengthen the relationship with the stakeholders such as green lovers. For example, Starbucks started to use recycled cups in their coffee shops. As a result, they could save around 78,000 trees per year. And they are now, after that, they are working together with World Watch Institute. So an NGO. So the green lovers, environmentalists, any other stakeholder support also can be obtained. Market edge, the last benefit. Better practice will lead to competitive advantage and improved brand image. If it's a good company, its image will be improved, and there will be public respect towards company. One investment managed company, Innovis, says that the sustainability, the company which are involving in sustainable programs, their share prices are sold 1.5 to 2.4% higher than the companies which do not do that. So that is leading to market edge or competitive advantage. So those are the benefits of sustainability. Then we will move to ways of achieving sustainability in operations management. Process design, designing process to minimize waste, reduce energy use and reduce carbon emissions. So that is, we can design the process in a way that is leading to lower carbon emission, lower waste, lower energy use. For example, Xerox, a multinational document management company, reduced their carbon footprint by 10%. Then product design, factors such as use of recyclable input, use of sustainable input, recycling products and minimizing wastage. That is, we use recycled inputs or sustainable inputs, so minimize waste. For example, from 2000 to 2005, Bank of America could reduce their paper use by 32% by way of recycling, whereas their customers increased by 24%. Then supply chain management, selection of supplier with sustainable development policies. So firm selects a supplier which is having sustainable development policies. For example, Ford Motor Company always select their suppliers with sustainable development policies. Another report says that half of the multinational companies that would be using suppliers with sustainable development policies, whereas counterparts without counterparts who are not. Then location, minimization of distance between company and supplier. So if the supplier and company has a higher distance, it will lead to unnecessary transport, which is leading to pollution, etc. So therefore, the firm and the distance between firm and the supplier should be reduced. For example, we can say that Baxter, American healthcare company, choosing its suppliers who are close to them. So those are ways of achieving sustainability in operation management. Process design, product design, supply chain management, location. So we will go to our past paper question now. That is again section C. Read the requirement in question 3, November 2011. A, B, C, 3 parts are there. Only we are going to do a C part. Explain the potential benefit of sustainability to TT. TT is the company. 5 marks. So gaining 5 marks, don't take it for granted. It's not that easy to gain 5 marks in section C. You have to put your maximum effort to gain that 5 marks. So we will discuss now how we can gain that 5 marks. Now here again, due to space restriction, I have not brought entire scenario in the screen. I have picked relevant points which is related to only part C, question part C. So November 2011, question 3, go through the real scenario in past paper. Right, TT Drinks Company produces and sells a range of flavored teas and fruit infusions. A new director of marketing is appointed. She noted that increasing cost of using contractors to dispose waste from production process for flavored teas and fruit infusions. Her previous company recycled such waste to make soil enrichment treatment. This was used by both company and its suppliers, and still there was too much for their needs. She feels adopting sustainable practices would make good business sense. So what are the benefits of sustainability for TT? So that is the question. So we discussed that sustainable benefits are Now, if you quickly go through efficiency, internal stakeholder support, external stakeholder support, and market edge. This is the benefits of sustainability. But remember, this is section C. Section C invites you to apply this knowledge to scenario given in the question. So read the scenario carefully. So, and we are going to apply this knowledge benefits to the scenario provided in the question paper. Now, past paper, this examiner's comment, if you show, there was a lack of content in the most cases, indicating that insufficient time had been spent in addressing the issues in the scenario. So one thing, they had spent less time. Scenario, they have not addressed to issues in the scenario. That means they have not related to scenario. Not writing enough. This is the always examiner's point, always examiner's comment, that candidates don't write enough for section C. So some answers were nothing more than outline notes with when the question had more substantial requirements. So if you give some points, benefits, efficiency, internal stakeholder support, external stakeholder support, so that will not be sufficient to gain marks. The question invites you to apply your knowledge to the scenario provided in the question. So post-exam guide, establish meaning and thinking behind sustainability, identify potential benefits of sustainability to TT, explain each turn with reference scenario. That is why you can gain the more marks. Relating to the scenario, contextualizing. So establish meaning, the thinking behind sustainability, improve operational efficiency, gaining external stakeholder support, gaining internal stakeholder support, achieving market edge over competitors, any other point. So here you see that 1 mark is given for 1 point for benefits and explanation what sustainability is. So if you just explain the benefits without referring to scenario, you will gain very few marks. So remember to read the scenario carefully and apply to the scenario. Your benefit should be mentioned in the context of the organization. So that is the suggestion I'm giving to gain more marks. Now, if you go to weak answer here, we'll just quickly go through what's meant. What is the weak answer? What are the factors which led to weak answer? Not reading the scenario. When you see sustainability and benefit, you just mention the benefits which are without referring to scenario. So gaining very low marks. Not reading the question requirement. Sustainability, you may explain what sustainability means, etc. in detail without what question is asking, benefit in the context of the scenario. Not understanding verb in question. Question asks you to explain, not list or define. Not writing enough. That's the main problem with the section C. Candidates don't write enough to gain sufficient marks. So we will go through the balance after the break. Let's have a break. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So we have been discussing how we can approach part C question, section C question. Now, weak answer here, we have been discussing that not writing enough. That is, candidates don't write enough. They are just outlining some points, whereas section C invites you to explain in detail, illustrate in detail with referring to scenario or contextualize. Only explaining about sustainability because benefits are the required, not related to scenario, no contextualization. So remember, if you do not relate to scenario, you are going to gain very few marks. Very few marks because they are giving most of the marks for relating to the scenario or contextualization. providing irrelevant point to the requirement of the question. For example, example of countries, companies, which companies are involving in sustainable, etc. You can mention them as a value addition, but that should not be your main part of the answer, because the examiner is not asking that. Examiner is asking what are the benefits of sustainability for that particular TT company. Poor time management, that is this is a 5 marks question, so 9 minutes. You must spend 9 minutes on these developing. So there is no standard how much you have to write, but I would suggest you to write at least 3/4 of a page, which would be considered sufficient by the examiner. So we go to answering the question. Define the sustainability, what sustainability, etc. So remember, when you are defining, if you do not, if you know the textbook definition, you can provide that, but otherwise from the knowledge you have, you can make a definition and give. So if you have a good knowledge, it will not be a challenge to develop a appropriate definition. Introduction to the issue, don't rewrite the scenario, just a brief introduction is given as a value addition to the answer. Don't rewrite the scenario. So very important, when you rewrite the scenario, it is losing the value. Your answer will lose in the value. Explain the benefit of sustainable and contextualize or relate to scenario. So you have to explain benefits relating to the scenario. So relating to TT company. So first we will, when developing the question, first define sustainability. So sustainability is the ability to meet the needs of present without compromise, ability to further generation to meet their own needs. Sustainable operation management means conducting operation in a way to preserve natural resources. It is the practice of doing business in a way that balances economic, environment, social needs. So we start with introduction, section C, then it start with the definition, section C, then we give a small introduction. This is a 5 marks question, so we can't give a big introduction. The reason we have only 9 minutes time. New Backend Director of Marketing noted that there's a high cost using contract to dispose waste resulted by production process. So that is the introduction to the issue. Now we are going to explain the benefits in context of the scenario. Explain the benefit of sustainability and contextualize. First, improving efficiency. Now, improving efficiency, we explain initially how to improve efficiency generally. Then we relate to scenario how TT can do that. Practice associated with sustainability include reducing waste, improved energy and water consumption, and sale of byproducts that were previously a cost of disposal. Such practice aimed at improving operational efficiency, ultimately contributing to improved long-term financial performance. So long-term financial performance will lead to lower cost, higher profit, etc. So currently TT is paying contract to dispose of waste products from the production process, and if this situation can be avoided, rather than paying to have the fruit waste taken to a landfill site, TT could reuse the soil enhancer. This is an environmentally sound practice, and if more enhancer than it requires is generated, new income stream may be identified for sales. Even if it is just given away to local farmers, this will help create value for someone else. Sustainable practice will benefit TT in terms of efficiency. Now, the scenario tells that company TT, its waste which resulted by taking flavored tea and fruit infusion is disposed by making a payment. Now, the director of marketing, new director of marketing, is concerned about that. In its earlier company, they didn't dispose it. Rather, they use it as a soil enricher, soil enhancer. Now, same practice can be applied in this company TT. That's rather than disposing, by making a payment to anyone, so what we can do is we can use it as a soil enhance or soil for soil enrichment process. So by selling that as soil enhancer, it's an organic fertilizer. So TT can make some revenue. Even though TT cannot make revenue by selling it, still it can be gifted to the local farmers. So local farmers would be loyal to the TT. Local farmers would be respecting the organization. So mainly the cost incurred to dispose waste can be avoided, finally leading to improvement in profitability, that is improving efficiency. So you see here that without just explaining how efficiency is occurring, we are related the scenario that how TT company can do that. So that is where you gain more marks. Now, if you go to the second benefit, by gaining internal stakeholder support. Now, here internal stakeholder mean they are referring to employees. Sustainability can result in enhanced relations with TT's workforce. If employees could be engaged in by sustainability agenda, this might provide a potential source of motivation and help shape positive culture. In turn, this may lead to less sickness, greater productivity, improved industrial relation, and less disruptive staff turnover. Especially, employee will be proud to work for a responsible company such as TT. Now, if we are involving in sustainable programs, employees know TT company is involving in sustainable programs. So employee will develop a respect towards company. Employee will be loyal to the company. They will be feeling proud that they are working for a responsible company. So this will lead to motivation, higher morale, lower labor turnover, and can attract and retain talented employees. So internal stakeholder support can be obtained. The third benefit is gaining external stakeholder support. Sustainability can result in enhancing relationship with external stakeholders. If local farmers were gifted the soil enhancer as indicated above, then relationship with the local community would be strengthened. Similarly, local community might view TT and its operator more positively if it convinces them through sustainable practice that it has no rip and burn organization. If TT were to achieve sustainability as part of wider policy, green measures such as reducing greenhouse gas emission, that is carbon dioxide, would undoubtedly strengthen the relationship between organization and environmentalists. Let's have a small break. I'll be right back after the break. So the third benefit of sustainability for TT companies, gaining external stakeholder support. So how we can apply to scenario here is that now TT is disposing its waste resulted by flower, tea and fruit infusion. What they can do is they can gift it to fathers. So gift it to farmers. Then farmers will be happy that they got organic fertilizer, so that they can use to enrich their soil while they do the cultivation. So farmers will be happy. So farmers will have a respect towards TT company. So this will enable TT company to develop a rapport between external stakeholders such as local community and suppliers, leading to better future for the organization. So that is third benefit, external stakeholder support. Then fourth last benefit, by achieving a market edge. Ultimately, sustainable practice will help an organization gain a competitive advantage by exploiting new business opportunities, so increasing market share and profitability. If customers share TT's aspirations are impressed by its effort, sustainability will lead to improved brand image, eventually leading to brand loyalty. So if TT is involving in sustainable practices, it will improve a good image about TT within the public and other stakeholders such as customers. So that image will work as a market edge or competitive advantage over the companies which are not involving in sustainable practices. So there will be a better brand image and loyalty to the organization. So that is the fourth benefit of sustainability. So that is how we can deal with section C style questions. Now we will go to section B, how we can approach section B, which is 6 questions will be there, each worth 5 marks. So how we can gain more marks in section B. Now weak answers in section B, lack of knowledge, that is a candidate does not know the answer. Answers are too short or too long. Now remember, section B questions are not like as section C. Section B questions invite you to briefly tell what it is, not illustrating in detail. Therefore, if you illustrate in detail, so that will not be considered to be a good answer. So if you give very short answer, again it will not be a good will not be considered to be a good answer. So there is no standard, but around half a page of you can write for section B for each question. So your answer is going to be half a page or little more. So remember, this is a 5 marks question. Therefore 9 minutes you can spend. So poor time management going to be an issue with the section B as well. So remember to spend only 9 minutes for section B each question. So we will go through how to develop a good answer in section B. Understand the question requirement, only 5 points using bullet points, no paragraphs. You have to understand what they are asking, explain, describe or distinguish. Approximately half a page of answer for each question. Sound time management required. No need to give industrial examples unless required, because if you are going to give industrial example, etc., it will take you somewhere else. So therefore, generally not required. So sometimes examiner will ask, he has asked in past, that with examples, then you have to give real examples. Unless examples are required by the question, no need to give industrial examples. Answering section B is relatively much easier than answering section C. Now we will go to one section B past paper question. May 2011 question 2 C part. Briefly describe Hofstede cultural dimension of culture, 5 marks. Now earlier in section C also we discussed Hofstede cultural dimension. So here also we are going to discuss. Now the difference is, now in section C they have given you a scenario, so your answer should be in context of scenario. Here no scenario, so you are going to write whatever you learn in the textbook, directly what you learn in the textbook. So that is here briefly described Hobbes' three dimension of culture. So therefore, relatively, it's easy to answer section B. So the answer would be this individualism versus collectivism. In individualized culture, people are expected to develop and display their own personalities and choose their own affiliation. In collective cultures, people are defined mostly as members of long-term groups such as family, religious group, etc. So using both points, you are right in the answer. Second point is masculinity versus femininity. In masculine cultures, people value assertiveness, competitiveness, material success, self-centeredness, power, strength, and individual achievements. In collective cultures, people value nurture and sensitivity, modesty, and concern for others. Third one is low versus high power distance. In cultures of low power distance, people expect and accept power relations that are consultative and democratic. In cultures of high power distance, less powerful members accept power relations that are autocratic and paternalistic. So directly you are writing what you learn in the textbook. Low versus, the fourth one is low versus high uncertainty avoidance. In cultures of low uncertainty avoidance, people prefer flexible rules. In cultures of high uncertainty avoidance, people accept explicit formal rules. The fifth one is short versus long time orientation. In cultures of short time orientation, people expect rapid feedback from decision, quick profits, etc. In cultures of long time orientation, people wait long time for feedback, work longer for organization, etc. So directly you are writing what you learned in your classroom or in study text. You are writing directly as the answer. So it's relatively easy. Now 5 points are given. But if you go through another question, that is a past paper question, section B, May 2012, question 2C part. Explain the main features of organization that do not adopt market or marketing orientation. So 5 marks again. Now, this question, the 5 points cannot be given. The reason, if it is not marketing oriented organization, it can be production oriented organization, product oriented organization, or sales oriented organization. So we are going to explain 3 types of organization, but the more things it is not given in the more points not given in the textbook. Therefore, how to develop a good answer for such a question, where less points are given about the features of those 3 types of organization in the textbook, you have learned less the features. So how to develop a better answer for such a question? We will have a break. We'll discuss after the break. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So we have been discussing how to approach this question. Now, this is the answer. What we can do is, if you are facing any question where features are less, you have studied, you convert advantages and disadvantages as their features, and you can explain. So here 5 points are not there, only 3 points, because if it is not a marketing oriented organization, it can be production oriented organization, product oriented organization, or sales oriented organization. Okay, production oriented organization, main focus is product efficiency. That is the organization which is focusing on number of units they are producing. Production level and process have little regard to customer demand, which means that too many units may be produced and left unsold. That means here you give a disadvantage as one feature. The main focus is production efficiency. The aim of low product cost, which might in turn result in low selling prices. So again, you are telling low selling price mean you can attract price conscious customers. The advantage, so you give advantage as a feature. This may not lead to greater sales, however, as a customer might associate low price with low quality. So with the customers who are focusing on quality, it will be difficult to sell them because they are focusing on quality. So, but the customers who are price conscious can be attracted and sold. So here you see certain features examiner has given in his answer as which we learned as advantages and disadvantages. Then product-oriented organization. Second one, main focus is product features. Little or no prior research to identify demand for the product being produced. Now, this is organization which is focusing on features of the product. So no research is done what features are required by the customer. We develop better features and try to sell the product. The organization runs the risk of product being unattractive and not selling in sufficient numbers if those features are not admired by customers or not expected by customers or not required by customers. It will not be able to sell. So it's a disadvantage. Main focus is product features. This could result in the production of goods with high quality features, so which may or may not be valued by customers. So if it's valued by customer, we develop a product with better features. If it is valued by customer, so it is turning as advantage. But here it is given as a feature of the feature of the organization, which is product oriented. Then we go to sales oriented organization. These are organizations which are focusing on selling the product. Focus is selling the product. A great deal of attention given to the sales strategies applied and enthusiasm of sales force. Those sales force are enthusiastic. They should be motivated to sell. Ethically questionable, because sometimes they will pressure the customer to buy the products, which will lead to unethical practice. Higher pressure sales techniques might not be sustainable long term, as there may be adverse publicity for the company, and customer may left feeling dissatisfied. So customers are feeling dissatisfied if they realize that they were sold by certain unethical techniques or pressure, so they will never come to your organization again. So some advantages and disadvantages there. They are given as features of sales-oriented organization. So another one last past paper question. We go through question November 2011, question 2, part B. Explain with example meaning and nature or dimension of corporate social responsibility, or CSR. So here examiner is specifically asking with examples. That is where you have to give real examples. So this is where you have to give real examples. So you better learn some real examples, so in the corporate world, and remember them, so in such a occasion you can provide. So then we will go through the 4 dimensions of CSR. That is, they are economic, social, philanthropic, and ethical. So CSR, first we define what CSR is. Continuing commitment for business to behave ethically and contribute to economic development while improving the quality of the life of the workforce and their families, as well as our local community and society at large. 4 dimensions of CSR are there. Economic, the way in which companies contribute to development of local economy in which it operates. That is, a company as a part of CSR, they must help to increase the standard of living of local community. For example, Body Shop buys ingredients from marginalized communities around the world in return for long-term relationship based on fair trade. So that is an example. You will gain marks for that, because a question is asking here for you to give examples. Legal, company should follow all laws and regulation. For example, it is alleged that in 2010, oil giant BP and its partners minimized use, health and safety regulation, resulting in a massive explosion costing the level of 10 employees and environmental catastrophe in the form of enormous oil leaks. So when the company BP did not follow the laws, so there was a big oil leak which costed around $40 billion for BP, which was a big impact for the company. So that is given as example here. So Ethical company must be ethical in operation. For example, Nike and their supply chain partners have in their past been accused of ethically dubious practices. For example, some Nike and their partners were using child laborers in their factories, which is unethical. So here it's given as example, so you gain marks. Philanthropic company must involve in philanthropic activities. Philanthropy means helping who are in need. So Marks and Spencer routinely engage in partnership with charities to raise large sums of money. So that is given for charitable cause, etc. So that is about that question. Now we'll quickly go how to mark section A. Section A, you need only knowledge to go to the answer. So study well, understand the basics, concept and theories. So here they will be giving you A, B, C, D, 4 answers, 10 questions. You need to choose one answer for each question. A, B, C, D, A, or B, or C, or D. So then, now if we, less time is left for you to till the exam. Therefore, you can do you are doing now self-study. So these are the techniques, study technique, effective rating. Reading textbook 10 to 30% effective. Reading past exam papers 20%. Doing practice questions 20%. Reading exam support material, that is if you can get a real exam support material, then it will be effective 60%. Doing past paper questions, past exam questions, it is effective 60%. So try to do as much as past paper question. They will give you understanding how to approach a question in your real exam. So now finally, how to manage time in the exam. Your exam will be held 9:30 to 12:30, but your reading time start from 9:10 to 9:30, 20 minutes. So before you go to reading time, settle there, 9:10 to 9:30 reading time. Now you will be given question paper. Read the questions, choose answer for MCQ in the section A, circle in the question paper itself. So what you can do is you read the question paper and try to find out the answer for all MCQ questions within that reading time. If you have time left, you can plan for some answer in section B. So if in case if you have time, you can plan for section B, but ensure that you are finishing all answers for section A. So 9:30 your answer book will be given. 9:30 to 12:30 answering time. Once you receive answer book, quickly copy the answer you mark in the question paper to answer book. Remember, all answers must be marked in the answer book. So therefore, quickly copy the answers you marked in your question paper to the answer book. Section A, for example, 1.1 answer A, 1.2 answer B, etc. Now, if you can quickly copy that, now you are left with almost 3 hours. Spend 1 hour for section B and spend 2 hours for section C. So within 1 hour you can finish section A and section B, and section C 2 hours. 1 hour, solid 1 hour you can spend on one question of section C. That is where that is a section which is going to decide how you are going to perform in the exam. Always have a proper time management so that you can attempt all the questions. Remember, first minute onwards, be busy, work on a correct pace. Don't initially very leisurely write. Later you are left with very less time, so struggling. So from starting onwards, maintain a right pace, start right fast initial from start onwards, so that you will have a correct time to be finished. So then the full attempt you have to make. So that is the end of enterprise operation revision. So now wish you all the best on your exams, and the email ID is given in the screen. If you need any favor, any study support, you can send me an email. I will reply you as soon as possible. Wish you all the best on your exams. Do well. God bless you. Thank you.